What is Dental Year? Dental Year is the leading marketing app in dentistry. Created by marketers, this resourceful platform helps your dental practice in a variety of ways. Content inspiration, real-time marketing ideas, tips on ROI with your current methods, fresh resources, and lots more.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Buzz. I'm your host, Brad, and so grateful you could join us on this special recording. We have Nicole and Dr. Stephen Greenman from DSM Solutions. Hi, how are you?
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What have you guys been up to?
Well, I've been back at work now from after the shutdown for two months, exactly 2 months, and our practice is going great. It seems like we barely missed a step. This week I'm off for a week vacation, but it's a staycation because there's really no desire to go anywhere. So I just came off of a 20-mile bike ride in the mountains up behind where I live, and I'm feeling great. So that's what I've been up to. How about you, Nicole?
Well, back to work, helping some offices get back into the groove of dental sleep medicine, hit their stride again. As far as that's concerned, going to the beach, getting a lot of fresh air, riding my bike around, and checking out some of the local spots that have been reopening and helping out some of my local businesses.
Nice. Nicole, we're kind of neighbors in LA. What's one of your favorite spots in LA to dine at?
Well, by us over in the Marina Del Rey Playa Vista area, I love Playa Provisions. It's actually a really cool spot, opened by a former Top Chef winner, Brooke Williamson. It's 4 different venues in one building. So there's a whiskey bar. I know that's not open right now, but definitely one day, a takeout counter, an ice cream shop, and an awesome, huge dining patio. And they make the best lobster and crab rolls ever. I highly recommend it. And a mean latte.
Wow. So I've never been there, and I just looked up their website. It's awesome. So thanks for that. By the way, if anyone to find marketing inspiration, you just don't want to look in dentistry. You want to look outside of dentistry in food, hospitality, e-commerce, whether it's design, pictures, conversion and optimization. So I just love hearing about new businesses, successful businesses, and how they're doing things. And that's the key to anything, right? Like, having patients and customers become ambassadors. And just, Nicole, you're so passionate about it. I can't wait to try it. Hopefully we'll all meet there one night, but cool website. Their food looks delicious. Before we get into kind of dental sleep apnea and all that really good stuff, I know you guys are both bikers. Dr. Greenman, I saw, actually, I think we posted it for you, a cool picture of you after a bike ride in Westlake Village a couple weeks ago with the helmet on, the gear. You look like a serious biker. Nicole, I think you're a serious biker. I actually just got a bike, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I don't remember the last time I was on a bike. And it's slim pickings out there, right? So, like, the bike stores, they don't have a lot of them. I didn't want to wait for one on Amazon. So I go to Target because, like, most places didn't have bikes. And I really didn't, like, I thought I wanted a road bike. Anyway, I go to Target. I get on this thing. Okay, now the wheels weren't that full, but I almost fell over and knocked, like, it was embarrassing. I was trying to drive the bike down the aisle. It was bad. Hopefully I didn't have that on camera. But I got the bike, and I've been cruising. I've been driving all the way up to or down to Manhattan Beach and back and forth. Like, I'm obsessed. So, couple questions. Any gear I need to have? I feel like maybe things to hold stuff. Any shoes? Any brand of bikes you love? I got a Schwinn. It's okay. I think it'll work great. But once I step it up, I want to know maybe what kind of road bike or something to get.
Well, Dr. G is the true expert, so we'll let him take over.
Well, Brad, it really depends on what kind of riding and you want to do. If you want to go long distance riding on a road bike, and the bike path that starts up in Santa Monica at Will Rogers State Beach, and it goes all the way down to the Palos Verdes Peninsula. So you can have a very long ride. I recommend starting in Marina del Rey, exactly where you live, because to avoid a lot of urban riding through Marina del Rey, and also you avoid the crowds on the Venice boardwalk.
Totally.
Yeah, and especially today, with the COVID crisis and all that, you want to kind of avoid crowds. So you can head south from where you are. You can ride easily a 25-mile ride, and you can ride it at a good clip. So all of that said, I think one of the most important things is to have a bike that has little rolling resistance. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on this, but you should have fairly narrow tires that are inflated fully. Okay, that's going to help a lot.
Okay.
And then the other thing that you can do is wear the right clothing. Wear proper shorts, a good quality cycling shorts that have a chamois, so that you can walk straight after your ride. And then as you get more comfortable, you want to be able to clip into your pedals. So that would mean investing in shoes, good quality bike shoes, and a pedal system where you can be one with your pedals. Don't do it right away, and not until you get comfortable. But then, as soon as you're comfortable, get that.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I feel like this first one I got is a nice entry point. I would love to go on longer rides, a couple hours here or there, and really it's just a substitute, like to not be in a gym or be on a stationary bike inside. But I'm so stoked I got it. I love it already. It's just a great workout, and you're just in the zone, present. You're driving down the beach. It's fun. It's great. And I know this is a marketing show, so I want to give a little marketing tip out of this. I had total peace of mind buying a Schwinn. I know there's better bikes out there, but Schwinn has been around, if you go to their website, over 125 years. And when you have that type of legacy and that type of tradition, it's the brand that is built over and over. So a recurring theme on this podcast is building your brand daily, building the brand with great content, storytelling, social proof. Clearly, Schwinn has done that. So, and plus, when you go to schwinnbikes.com, it's just a very clean, modern, minimalistic vibe, great pictures. They have a follow Schwinn section, which I like this a lot, where they're basically sharing like Instagram posts of people who have tagged their profile and repurposing that content. That's awesome. I really do think that whole vibe for dental practices moving forward, repurposing patient-generated content on your website is going to be the way to go. And, sign up and stay connected. Just for a dental website, you could enter an email address and be updated on office news. So thanks for the bike information. I needed to give a marketing tip out of that because very cool. Okay.
If I may interject really quick, a great place to get set up. I've taken many friends there to get their first serious bikes is Newbury Park Bicycle. Longtime friend of our family, Mike Cheeky, very knowledgeable, will get you set up with everything that you need at whatever level you're at. Very attentive, awesome place to get a bike, and if you're looking to get serious.
Newbury Park Bike Shop, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is this one?
It's in Newbury Park. It's going to be a little bit of a schlep for us, Brad, but it's out by where Dr. G lives and practices. A big place.
Oh, yeah, here it is here.
Like I said, really knowledgeable, really nice. They're going to get you fitted, all the gear that you need, nothing above.
Oh, wow, these bikes look unbelievable.
Yeah.
They got this Pinarello Italian performance. Okay, I'm going to look at this on my own, but this bike looks, your friend owns this place?
Yeah, we've known them. We've known the Cheeky family for a long time.
Oh, these are like real serious bikes. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's at any level you're looking for, from beginner to riding on a semi-pro team.
Yeah, if I traded the bike I got from Target, they might throw in a helmet based on their website. Okay, this is where I'll bookmark this. Okay, so thank you for the bike wisdom. Nicole, we were on a call, I don't know, last week, couple weeks ago, talking about DSM Solutions, and you mentioned the term. I almost fell out of my chair. I go, what was that? You said something called the Zoom effect. What is it?
Well, actually, I heard it from Dr. Greenman, so I am not original. I will let him go ahead and talk about how he's implemented it in his practice. But it's basically, through this global pandemic, we've been staring at ourselves on our computer screens, doing a lot of video calls for work, for fun, and people are starting to notice things.
Yeah.
Things about themselves that they want to fix, that they want to get right. And that does absolutely include their dentistry.
Wow. Dr. Greenman, have you been getting a lot of calls and responses to the Zoom effect?
Yes, and it's amazing how much of an increased demand we're having for cosmetic dentistry. I think I've done 5 Invisalign starts in the last month. Okay, I mean, and that's a huge number for us. I mean, anybody who's dentists on this podcast know the value of a full adult Invisalign start, and this Zoom effect is interesting. Brad, like, okay, how many times a day do you think the average person looks in the mirror? And they're going to work and they're just spending, the normal day. How many times do they look at their face in the mirror?
I don't know, maybe half a dozen or so.
Okay. I think, that's okay, so a half a dozen, but it's a single look, and then you go on, you do something else, and you kind of forget about it, right?
Well, you hope at least twice, because they're brushing and flossing twice a day.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And, for me personally, it's maybe once or twice. It's washing, showering, shaving, brushing my teeth, and I probably don't look at my mug in the mirror at all after that. I mean,
well, you're such a handsome fella. I mean, you're just a stud. You're looking sharp.
Well, I mean, we'll let other people judge that. But anyway,
well, you are. Yeah.
Now with people working from home, so many people are working from home, and they're on conference calls, video conference calls all day long, mostly Zoom. And so they're looking at their faces for hours on end, all day long. And what are they seeing? Well, they're seeing, hey, this is what I look like. So people are coming in and saying, I see myself all day long, and doc, and I really don't think my smile, I didn't notice some of these things about my teeth. So that's the Zoom effect. And because of that, we've found, we've been getting quite a bump in cosmetic dentistry. The other part of it is that because of the Zoom effect, I'm talking to people a lot more about it, and I can kind of lead you into the conversation if you want to know.
Yeah, please.
Okay, well, we're screening our patients. Okay, we're taking their temperatures. We're asking them a series of questions. We have, and before they're led back into the main part of our office. Well, when I see people, I mean, what is the topic of conversation nowadays? What is everybody talking about, like ad nauseum, until you want to, you got to turn off CNN at some point and go to Netflix because you can't stand it anymore. What's everybody talking about?
Yeah, the
COVID,
situation.
right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. So, I'll talk to people. So, tell me, what did you do during the shutdown? Are you working in an office? No. Are you working from home? Are you on video conferencing and stuff like that? And they'll say, yeah, I've been video conferencing. And I said, and I'll ask them, I'll say, well, I've got a number of my patients have talked to me about cosmetic dentistry. I know that when I'm on these calls, I'm looking at my face the whole time, and I'm seeing stuff. Have you noticed anything? And just kind of leading into a conversation like that can be huge, because now somebody will want to talk about maybe doing some cosmetic dentistry. I work 3 days a week, about 7 hours a day, 120 days a year, and I've got a $1.2 million practice. Well, it only takes 2 or 3 people a month to say yes to a significant cosmetic dentistry treatment plan to get there. And that then can get a dentist and a dental practice in a position where they can drop contracted PPO plans that they would don't really enjoy doing, get them off of the treadmill, see fewer patients, have a safer office, and spend more time with people, because that's the fun part of dentistry, is I think is the communication and the closeness, the intimacy that we have with our patients.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful. It's an amazing concept. It's an amazing term, and it makes sense. Nicole, any other ideas on the Zoom effect and kind of how that communication's going?
No, I mean, Dr. Greenman nailed it. That's exactly what it's all about. I mean, even me, a girl, I probably look in the mirror 4 times a day, and I'm not spending a significant time, really inspecting myself. But on those Zoom calls, you can't help but stare.
Dr. Greenman, yeah, do you think it's something where it's more of like an inbound approach, meaning it's through that conversation and people realizing it on their own? Or do you feel like through your social media there should be a messaging on it, like, are you on Zoom a lot, noticing your smile?
Brad, you're the marketing guru, and I never thought of it like that, but maybe that's something that we need to work on.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's interesting. I think there could be a hybrid approach. Could be both. I do think the next time we film with you, or you want to maybe when we're going to talk about your new show, when you're filming Add Water and Stir. Maybe Nicole could film you just on mobile, hold the camera horizontally and send it to PK, the file, just like a minute or less piece of, are you on a lot of Zoom calls for work, and considering, getting cosmetic work or Invisalign, call us, stay at our Westlake, Village practice. I actually think a nice video this has got to be put out like all content, very manicured, appropriate, and in a nice way, right? So I think if it comes across you speaking to camera at the practice, kind of like you're looking at the camera, like you're talking to a patient, that type of energy, that vibe, like, hi, are you on a lot of Zoom calls daily for work? If you feel like you're not in love with your smile and could maybe be curious about Invisalign or cosmetic services we provide, just call our practice for any questions. I just think that would be the way to do it, as opposed to taking advantage of a situation, right? So that for me would be the ideal. And if you could record that video for PK, let's go that route, see how it plays, and go from there.
We'll do that on our next, on our next broadcast.
Okay, speaking of broadcast, tell us about your new show for DSM Solutions, please. And by the way, why don't you tell us what DSM Solutions first is, for anyone who doesn't know? Dr. Greenman and Nicole, so Dr. Greenman doesn't only have an amazing practice in Westlake Village, California, they also have created DSM Solutions, which is an incredible program. And Nicole, Dr. Greenman, let us know about that first, and then the new show, please.
Absolutely. So DSM Solutions is a coaching and consulting company helping private dental practices implement and or boost an existing dental sleep medicine practice. So training for doctor, training for team, help with identifying patients, making choices like appliance selection, building all the tools and protocols necessary in order to run a nice, smooth dental sleep medicine facet in a dental practice. Our new show is called Add Water and Stir, because that is our philosophy here at DSM Solutions. We want to put everything together for an office so that it is truly an add water and stir situation. It is a monthly live broadcast we do on Facebook and Instagram on the first Friday of every month at 7 a.m. sharp Pacific time. We have had 2 episodes so far, third coming up next month, where we talk about a variety of topics within the dental sleep medicine arena, identifying patients, appliances to use, answering questions from your patients, and so on.
When you say identifying patients, what does that mean?
Well, identifying patients in your existing practice, who's coming in, who are you seeing every day, what are the signs and symptoms to look for, how to broach that conversation, and also recognizing some patients in your community, how to attract some new blood into your practice for, frankly, both sleep apnea care and potential dental work.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Greenman, Nicole mentioned broaching the conversation with patients. Is there a Cliff Notes version you could give our audience of how to bring that topic up when they're chairside?
Sure. Everybody in the office, not just the dentist, needs to have this conversation. There's so many points of contact that we have with our patients, and if each team member must embrace and own their contact with the patient. Okay, so what that means is that everybody's got to take advantage of that opportunity to touch somebody. So the start is that, and in my practice, the start of the conversation would be that, did you know that Dr. Greenman is an expert in treating sleep apnea, and dentists are uniquely positioned to recognize the signs of it in their patients? And then, you wait for a response. And then the next thing is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Mm-hmm. And then the next question, of course, people are going to say yes. You've already asked permission to ask questions. So now you're not giving unsolicited advice, if you will. And then the questions can be very simple. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the quality of your sleep? 10 being best. And you listen. You ask a few follow-ups. On the same scale, how would you rate your level of daytime energy? And again, whatever the response is, some follow-up questions. Why is that? Et cetera, et cetera. Last question would be, are there issues with snoring for you or your spouse? And then you listen again, and then that would lead to the next handoff to whoever's going to be seeing the patient next, to go into a little more in-depth exam, which the exam, literally, Brad, it takes about 10 seconds, because as soon as a person opens their mouth, you're doing a sleep apnea exam. The problem is that most dental practices don't understand that that's how easy it is to identify at-risk patients.
Unbelievable. What I'd say a lot more practices, I don't know a percentage, but a lot more practices are implementing this at this point, right?
Well, they're advertising it, and they're saying that they can do it. But for example, I had a new patient the other day who came from a local prosthodontist's office. The prosthodontist asked if I would deliver the appliance because I'm a Medicare provider, and the appliance was not made properly, and I had to send it back to the lab. And it turns out the prosthodontist had never made an appliance before, but thought he could. Okay, and so it's one thing to say you're doing it. It's kind of like cosmetic dentistry. Everybody says they're a cosmetic dentist now, and they're not. They're not trained. They haven't put in the time. They don't have the experience. So it is important, if you're going to do this as a dentist, that you do it at a high level, that you interface with the medical community, and that you really know what you're doing and have confidence in what you're doing. And so my job as part of DSM Solution is to be that mentor for the dentist, to help them to gain their confidence, improve their skills, etc. Nicole's job is to help the team to implement all the details, and also we both help with training the team to have the conversation.
Awesome. And Nicole, is it an ongoing program, or how long does it take really to get up to speed at the practice?
Absolutely. Well, it is an ongoing program. We work with clients for a minimum of 20 months. Rome was not built in a day. So we're here to hold your hand from point A through becoming a diplomat of the American Board of Dental Sleep Medicine, if that's something that an office is interested in doing. So it's not one of these one weekend courses where you have to go back to your team all enthused, explain what you guys are going to do, and then no one really make the connection and then have nothing happen. We're extremely hands-on. We're there for you every day, Monday through Friday, to make it happen, to ask questions, to really hone each practice's outline. You know, everyone is different. Dr. Greenman's practice is definitely our patient zero, but you know, every office is different, and it's really our goal, Dr. Greenman and I, is to identify what each office needs and provide them with all the tools necessary to make it successful.
It's amazing. Can you tell us about, because you have this whole library of content that your clients could access in the back end, right, through Wistia. So, I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of videos on the back end of your website that anyone who signs up gets access to all that wisdom throughout the years. What type of content is in there, and can they can access it all right away, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So each client has access to our client portal, which has a library of all of our monthly conference calls. Our monthly conference calls are client only, and again cover all kinds of different topics within the dental sleep medicine community. Sometimes we have guest speakers. We'll talk about different labs. We'll talk about TMJ and its relationship to obstructive sleep apnea, really everything and anything under the sun. When you sign up for our program, you get your username and password, and you can get on there and see really every recorded session that we have back from, what was it, like 2012. I mean, yeah, like Brad said, there's a lot of content on there, things that you can show team members, how to do a sleep disordered breathing examination. Dr. G mentioned that it is very quick, but we have the whole process recorded, what you need to be looking for, questions to be asking, that type of thing. So yeah, you get that right away, and that's going to be a huge resource for any office kind of trying to hit the ground running. Very
cool. And when are your calls with the clients? What's the day every month?
Those are on the first Monday of every month at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Again, as we discussed, they're always recorded. So if you are unable to join us live, it would be available to you the next day on your portal, or if you hear something awesome that you want to share with members of your team that they'd be interested in too, it's again available next day on the portal. You can watch it on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer during a meeting, a team meeting, whatever you guys want.
Beautiful. Well, DSM Solutions, you guys are really the experts, the one-on-one experts for practices that want to implement dental sleep apnea at the office. So I can't thank you enough for joining us again. Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience about implementing sleep, marketing, the Zoom effect? I mean, every time I talk to both of you, it's so inspiring and I learn so much. So feel free to share anything else with our audience before we end this recording, please.
Well, I think that I can share how important that human touch is for our practices and our patients. They're coming to us because they want our services, they trust us, and doctors, you've got to take the time to really get to know people and to ask questions about them. You want your patients to talk, and what's their favorite subject is themselves. So to turn that and get your team on the same page as well. You don't sell any dentistry by talking about yourselves, okay? You have to talk about your patients. It's all about them. And so working with your team, developing your leadership in order to inspire your team to go in that direction is so huge. And I got to tell you, that when you reduce the number of people that you have to see in your practice and spend more time with each and every one of them and really getting to know them, it makes going to work so much more enjoyable.
It's beautiful. I mean, your practice is so dialed in and set up for especially these times now. So thanks for sharing all that wisdom with us. It's great.
I read a really good book, that's not really. It is not set out to be a leadership book, but there's a couple of really good ones. And one of the most fun ones to read, and I don't know if you've read it, Brad, called Boys in the Boat. And it's about the Olympic gold medal rowing team in the Berlin Olympics during the Hitler era, 1932. Mm-hmm. And they're from the West Coast, from University of Washington. So that book alone about teamwork and leadership is terrific. And
wow.
then if you got the time and you really like to read, I would recommend reading Ron Chernow's Grant. Now, I got to tell you that the paperback version alone weighs 3 pounds. Okay, I mean, this is not for the faint of heart. The television show there's some. I think it's on the History Channel. They have a 3-part kind of a condensation of the book, but it really it touches on his leadership to an extent, but not like this book does. I mean, getting with your people, with the people that work with you, getting to know them, really, really loving them, and surrounding yourself with, with team members that you want to see every single day and that you really care about makes a huge difference. So leadership, I think it all stems with you, the doctor, and everything goes from the top down.
These are awesome recommendations. Thanks for the book recommendations. I just put these into my cart on Amazon. Unbelievable stuff. By the way, Nicole, have you been over to the Amazon bookstore in the marina?
Oh yeah, I love going through there. So many cool books and toys and cooking utensils to look at, especially right now being at home.
Yeah.
A lot more cooking and a lot more reading.
It's great. I was over there this weekend and just stocked up on a couple books and magazines. It's Amazon. It's unbelievable. I think what we're going to all be talking about more eventually is advertising through Amazon. I mean, it's turning into such a beast of a platform for advertising where it's the only one close to potentially knock out Google and Facebook or be in that conversation. So, for instance, there's a family shopping for groceries or a Kindle on Amazon in a 5-mile radius of your practice in Westlake, where then how do we run ads for those people, right? So that's on the horizon for sure, and we'll be talking about that more. But yeah, it's amazing. There's so many opportunities right out there right now, whether it's sleep, dentistry, marketing, and it's fascinating to have these conversations. And I'm reading this book called Bezonomics. It's about Bezos and Amazon and how they're operating. It's unbelievable. They're like 4 years ahead. Like most companies operate today in this quarter and next quarter, they're already 4 years out. And it's fascinating stuff. So I'd say for sure, whether it's DSM or the practice or anyone listening, at some point, most of everyone here listening will be paying Amazon additional money for advertising in some capacity as business owners.
Thanks, Brad. It's always great talking to you. And since now we're in the same time zone and within a few miles of one another, then just as soon as we feel it's right, we got to get together.
Well, we're going to have a nice chill dinner. PK and I and the Fluff. We want to come up to Westlake and see you guys. We'll find a good spot outside. I'm sure there's a lot. I know there's a lot of options in Westlake. Nicole, we'll go up there.
Backyard.
Yeah, your backyard. We'll do that. Whatever's good. We'll be in touch soon. We'll come up, and I'm looking forward to it. Otherwise, Nicole, Water and Stir, they could access that show also from the website and social media, right?
Absolutely. It's also on our YouTube. Check it out. I'm real proud of it. We're getting better every month.
I was watching the pilot. I like with the trees in the background. I love the settings you're choosing. I think outside is better.
Oh, all right. Well, August is going to be perfect for outside. It'll be nice and warm at 7 a.m.
Well, you do it so early, but like they're supping. So they're supping about watching these types of shows when the people are outside. It's something interesting. I'm telling you, the first show you had with the trees and you're drinking coffee. But, and the other thing is eating food. That's why I asked you to have, I think you brought donuts or something the first time. So keep that food thing going. Anyone listening right now, you look at like One Bite Pizza reviews on YouTube. It's an incredibly successful show. It's amazing, but there's something to watching people eat and the reason why. And I forget what book I read this in, but I was like, something's up with the eating of the food and having more views. And I've been thinking we need to do a food show. Anyway, it's because when people eat, they're in a meditative state. You're present, you're focused, and you're taking in the textures and tastes of the food. And people like to watch people in meditative state. It's like, why do we watch sports? Because present in the moment, anything could happen, reading, reacting. Same thing with food. Obviously on a smaller scale than pro sports, same type of thing. So on your show, keep eating food, please. And anyone listening, if you're doing maybe a live broadcast from your practice, or you're thinking about putting out more content, celebrating fun holidays, that type of content of you actually eating food, if you feel it's appropriate, will get more views and more organic reach. I know it's crazy, but that's the way it works. Nicole, Dr. Greenman, thank you. Visit dentalsleepapneatraining.com for more information and to reach out to this incredible team. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everyone for tuning in to this episode of Buzz. If you implement dental sleep apnea at your practice, you'll provide more value for your patients. You'll benefit their lives even more, and you'll also be Wizard of Buzz. Take care.
If you're looking for more reach, engagement, and conversion with your dental practice marketing, download the Dental Year app today.